And I think you can all see my my Bitcoin chart. And I'll switch to the 1 hour because there's been so much sideways in these swings that it's a little bit hard to see this channel that it's been in. So we're in this sideways slash downwards channel, and I've tweaked it before our session. Now I'm still keeping the same limits for my confirmation, the same levels for my confirmation and invalidation. So at the moment we've come down, and I think we're heading for the 20k level of support and resistance. So this would be the midline of the channel. I moved it slightly lower. It was somewhere around here, and I moved it slightly lower so that I catch all these turns as they happen, and that would be the entry point that I'm looking for my long. So the way I see it is it can reverse from here and break upwards, and I will put my full position in when we hold, as I was telling you this morning, when we hold the 22k. So I've only started with 40% of my position. As soon as we hold the 22k, sorry, I'll be putting in the rest of the 60% of my position in, and I will be following it up to about 25k. So that would be my target for the long. Now my invalidation for the long would be breaking this bottom line, because that would, if we break this bottom line, so basically if we break the 19k level, once we break the 19k level, we might be heading down for a triple bottom, and that would be around 17,000. And again, I'll be mindful of if I am shorting that, I'd be mindful of having a reasonable target somewhere below this bottom, even if it breaks it, which is quite likely to break it if it's going for the double bottom. I'd still like to take my profit sooner rather than later. Now, looking at where we are in this channel, we've had one swing, second swing, third swing. So we've had 1, 2, 3 touches to the top, 1, 2, 3, 4 touches to the bottom. So at the moment, it looks like this channel is ready to break upwards. Again, I'm mindful of trading now, because it could go both ways very, very, very fast and significantly in great amounts. We've had great rejection here at the top line, but then as it moves down, it doesn't move down with too much gusto. So it had a hard time today coming down, and it didn't come down too much. So it tested again this top line, and it came down about 4%. So I expected it today to come down to the 19,800. That would have been my initial target before noticing if it's breaking these two previous lows. That's where I took my profit, but it didn't. It might do. Again, it can still come down into this channel and hit the 19k, keep the 19k, and move up, gain the 20, then gain the 22, and move upwards. Again, be mindful, trading is more adaptable than we think. Actually, it's not put in a position and then pray that it goes your way. No, you can actually, how can I say, the amount that you put in, you can break it into smaller portions and then DCA in and go with the market as it goes. For instance, I put in 40% of my position here, the rest of 60% I'll put it in here and see what it does. And again, if it hits the bottom line here, I will improve my position. I'll be somewhere around here, and then if it breaks this one, I'll probably have to take a loss and then go short, because again, it's going to go for a bigger move. But just by doing that move, I will have followed the market, and I will have lowered my risks and also lowered the losses that I take, rather than put 100% here, watch it go into the red here, and then panic and then have to take a bigger loss here. So that's how I would manage my risks in terms of managing the position size in these times where it can go both ways and it's hard to read. Now, speaking about levels, I am using the invalidation of the downward based on a level that I got on the daily. And on the daily, there we are. So on the daily, I had a long-term support and resistance level at 19.9, so 19,900, and then we have the 20 EMA at 22,600, which I believe will be the bigger support that we need to gain, and that is in confluence with a greater channel that we have here. So this is a huge descending daily channel. So this is the channel that we've been moving in, and we've had at the moment, I think we need one more swing to the high. So we've had 1, 2 touches to the top, and then we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 touches to the bottom. But let's say even if I take only the white one here, we've had 1, 2, 3 touches to the top, 1, 2, 3, 4 touches to the bottom. So in this daily channel, which would have a target of around 28 for the top line, we need to see price action. We need to see price. Sorry, I'll start again. So this is the channel that we need to see price action go into for the upwards move to be confirmed. And if you see here, the line for that would be somewhere around 21.6, 21.6, 21.9, that 22k level that I am so stubborn about in terms of DCAing for my long. So I won't put in the rest of my 60% position in my long until I see that 22 level being held, because that makes the move upwards a little bit more certain. Now this would probably be a 4-hour trade that I'll be watching. It will take a couple of days, if not maybe a week, to get to the 20. So from the 22 to the 24, and then maybe the 55 EMA on the daily, somewhere around the 27, and that would be a spectacular 35% lift. Now, in terms of support, so this would be how I see this week playing out in terms of the space that we're moving in. In terms of support downwards, because we need to consider that downward scenario, I started with the upward scenario because I've been watching it over the weekend and yesterday and today very closely, and there is a slowdown in the momentum coming down. That's what I how can I say, visually visually notice. So the move downwards has been a little bit more how can I say, reluctant than the move upwards. So there's been nice spikes on the 1 hour and the 15 minute when there were pull downs. But anyways, leaving the spikes to the side, we're looking at levels. We need to look, very, how can I say, clearly at where we are. So the next level of support and resistance is the 17.5. I'll say 17.5. even the early 17,000, that would be the level of support for a double bottom around the 17K area. If we lose the 17K area, that would be the next level would be around 13K. So these would be my daily levels if this double bottom doesn't hold. I'm favoring more a lift, but I'm keeping my eyes very wide open towards it breaking the level that I showed you in the 19.9 and then the 17. So these are the two levels that I'm gonna watch. Let me put another one here on the daily because I want to post this chart. It's a harder time to trade in because we have to go all the way back to where this happened. That's what I do, and it seems like the moves are in a bigger space. In terms of momentum, we have a topping out of the stochastic on the daily. However, on the 4-hour. On the 4-hour, I was noticing a lift in the regular RSI. So even with this drop today, it hasn't fallen. The regular RSI is still there. And I think on the 1-hour, no, we don't have the bullish divergence anymore. But yeah, we have an exaggerated bullish divergence because we have the RSI staying low, but the prices are coming down. So the RSI sort of like holds at the same level. On the 15-minute, the more immediate price response, yeah, we still have that bullish divergence between this drop and this drop here. So again, maybe again it might be my short-term bias because I am looking to trade the smaller swings in this. I'll be watching for this to maintain, and for the midline to hold. If the midline doesn't hold, then the next level of support is the 19,000. Now going back to the daily. And going back to the daily, yes, I want to show you why I believe. So this is the all-time high here. So again, I'm not an Elliott wave head, and I check impulse waves rather than pure Elliott waves. So if I'm looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another one 4, 5, and I'll put it at 15,000 somewhere. Again, halfway between 17,000 and 13,000. I am a pattern trader as well, so I will check to see what patterns we have there in terms of channels or wedges or triangles. We'll see what's going to take us there. But basically, what I'd like you to see is why I believe a lift is justified, keeping in mind that there might be a second bottom or even a lower low, a lower bottom. So this would be a possible wave count. The invalidation would be somewhere around 34, 35. It would be in line with this green line of the daily channel if price action does go all the way up there. But again, for that to happen, we won't go there from one day to another. We won't do such a big lift all of a sudden, but we will have structures accumulating and taking us there. So that's why that's how I see a lift fitting into the impulse waves on the way down. To me, it looks like we've had this peak formation here. We've had one drop, and I think we need another lift and then another drop, another level. So we might be going down to 13K. To my level count, we had first level, second level, third level. We would need a third level. But for that level to happen, we need to accumulate a little bit more. So again, I think we are, I seem to be saying that a lot lately, but we are at the crossroads between, is it going to go up and do a relief rally, or is it going to come down and do a double bottom here? Again, on the 15-minute, take your signals and check your lower time frame levels. On the daily, keep in mind that both situations are equally plausible and they wouldn't affect the wave count. So we can still come down this week, do a double bottom around 19K, and then head up for a relief rally and then come down. So that's why it's necessary to have both time frames, the 15-minute and the daily, mapped out, because the daily gives you the bigger space of the week, what kind of swings and what direction the swings will have during the week, whereas the 15-minute gives you a much more immediate response to what's happening. And we seem to be holding the midline. So that's where Bitcoin is. Again, in the morning, we'll see what Asia will have done during the night, and we'll see if they're going to bring it up or if they're going to push it down one more level for a second bottom. I think Ethereum might be in a similar situation. So again, nice and calm Ethereum has moved between the 1250 and 1150, and we have finally reached the support and resistance level at 1156. We seem to be lifting off it. The RSI on the 1 hour seems to be moving up. Now, this has been a level that was kept for a long time, from the 24th to the 28th. For 4 days, we've kept up in the top part of this channel. So again, this I'm mindful of it not being my bias over the past few days. I am noticing a resistance to the downside. There is, yeah, I'm trying to count the candles, maybe to see if there is any particular count, but there isn't. Anyways, for Ethereum, in the short term, as in tomorrow, the next day, we are looking at holding 1250. So 1250 is the 22K for Ethereum. We break 1250, chances are we're going up towards 1500. I have a technical target of this channel. I like to double check these because sometimes I change the channels and I don't change the targets, and they might vary slightly. Anyways, I have a technical target for this channel around 1500. If we keep the 1150, again, I would start longing with a small position here, and then maybe add the bulk, 60–70%, depending on where you feel comfortable adding the rest of your position once it gets through the main support and resistance level. So here's the 1250, and if we break it and we hold it, I'd be looking at 1500, which would be a nice lift from where it is now. It would be 28.15 at 1550, 33, which would be very much in line with the 35 of Bitcoin. Now, if we break the 1150, similarly to Bitcoin, we have the 1050, the 100. Ethereum has those 100, 100, 100 levels. I remember when I was trading it, there were more like 200, 200. But now, since volume has come down, we have the levels smaller as well. So I would take profits as levels get hit as well in trades. Don't leave them for the absolute final target. Take your profits on the way, because it is a very volatile situation. So we hold the 1150, sorry, we lose the 1150. The next level would be the 1050. And then if the 1050 is lost, my technical target for a double bottom would be somewhere around 960, 950. The green line. So that would be the 17.8, 17.9 of Bitcoin. I'm constantly making connections and correlations because they have such similar outlooks. Now, we are for Ethereum, if we change to the 4-hour time frame, Ethereum is a little bit different because it was harder to gauge the levels since it dropped deeper than the rest. So if I'm taking into account that this was the peak formation, so these are the 3 tops, this was the second level, so first level, second level, there might be a third level. And that level would be somewhere around 400, and I'll show you on the MAs why that is, and on the Bollingers. But if the previous bottom drops, we might be looking at 600 or 400, late 400, 480 for target. But again, this is I personally wouldn't trade that as a long move. I wouldn't trade it as a 4-hour trade, because now we would be looking at maybe a 4-hour trade taking two months to complete. So normally when the market was 3 trillion, it would take 3-4 weeks. Now it would probably take at least twice. I wouldn't do a 4-hour trade. It would be more profitable for me to do 15-minute trades 4 days a week than to be in a trade for a month or 2, not knowing in the current context where it's going. So again, go level by level. We will have structure. So before we get to 400 or 600, we need to break through the levels, and these levels, while Ethereum is staying there, it will do some things. It will create some patterns, it will accumulate, price will compress, and then we'll see breakouts happen and taking price in a particular direction. For Ethereum, I also have a 4-hour wedge. I think this is my 4-hour chart. Not this one. Yes. So I'm looking at Ethereum on a 4-hour wedge, at a 4-hour wedge structure that it's come out of. Now I've seen Ethereum break out of such structures and then go back in just as quickly. So this would be the wedge, this would be the breakout, but as you can see, it's staying mainly within the same price range, in and around the 1150 mark. The wedge target though would work very nicely with the next level of somewhere around 1050, 1030 in our sideways channel. Again, if we look on the daily, and if we count the waves here, I'd say this is, initially I thought this was 1, 2 for Ethereum, then we had 3, 4, and now we have 5. But it doesn't look, again, it looks like it is possible for Bitcoin to do a 4 and then a 5, which makes it again possible for Ethereum to do the same thing. So we have either reached a bottom here, and if we continue to hold our previous, where was it, 800, let's say 900. So if we hold the 900, the bottom there, chances are we will make a 1-2 and then do a relief rally on the way up. However, if Bitcoin's only gonna do a relief rally and then head down for another leg down, it will probably do the same. So we would be looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, and then heading down for 5. And I'll make this a different color. 1, 2, this wouldn't break it. 3, 4, yes. So the yellow pathway is in line with what would happen if Bitcoin did a lift up to 27, 28 thousand. Ethereum would go up to 15, 16, which is the 55 on the daily is 17,000. Maybe it will come there for a proper relief rally and then start heading down for the level of 470, let's say 500, which is right here, and it is based on a previous historic support and resistance level. So these are the two possibilities for Ethereum. Ethereum looked like it had reached a double bottom here, and then it came down again when the whole market came down again. So I think it's gonna do what Bitcoin is gonna do, more or less having its own percentages. But it will follow it in movement. Also, I think again, in terms of fundamentals, I'll double check and I'll post it on the chat tomorrow. I think they postponed, they had an update that they were supposed to do in August, and I think they postponed it for September. So that again, that was said to again be a very important update. I think they were changing to proof of stake or something like that, and that would have meant if something goes wrong, Ethereum would be in for a massive correction. But again, that's fundamental rather than TA. I'll double check to see when we can expect something like that to happen, and so that we make a mental note and expect fluctuations around that time. But that's where I think they are. Bitcoin and Ethereum. We are in sideways channels in each of them. Bitcoin is slightly descending, whereas Ethereum's is more sideways. We know that sideways channels can be both for consolidation or reversal. It all depends on whether there's going to be a relief rally or a double bottom. Which comes first, the relief rally or the double bottom? That's the great question for this week, and I would say the next one as well. In terms of, I wanted to say before that, I wanted to say that I noticed today on Ethereum we have the stochastic on the day pushing down. So this is not a great thing. If we go back historically, we have seen it push down slightly here and then rehabilitate, push down slightly here and then rehabilitate. But most of the times when it crosses, we are in for a big spill. So especially coming from that high. So again, the day seems like it wants to push down. How far off? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Again, I would be trading in Bitcoin and XRP levels, and I would, if I were trading Ethereum right now, I would be doing the same thing. So if I, for instance, here, if I see this level being held here on the, I think that's the 1 hour, and I have my indicators, I would again with a small position, put in some money to see it go up. And if the level breaks, I take a small loss. If there is a certain loss really, because it might be my entry point, and then move with it. But again, it's we need to see levels being held. I'll keep you posted in the London and the New York session tomorrow, and every day this week till Friday, and we'll get to chat about your trades if you're in as well, depending on what's going to happen. We'll have more information tomorrow, especially after this move that's testing support and resistance before